Impacts the world, impacts the community. The time to know is now.
It's time for Edgewise.
This is the show where we discuss the things going on in the community, state, and world, and letting you get your opinion in edgewise. Any views or opinions expressed by the guests, phone callers, and hosts of the show are strictly the views and opinions of the guests, phone callers, and host, and do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of WMMG, its sponsors, or employees.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it is that time once again. It's 11 o'clock here at WMMG, which means it is time for an exciting edition, a fun-filled fest of something. I don't know. Here we are. I was trying to think of something clever. I can't think of anything. It's Edgewise, and if there's anything on your mind today, give us a call, 422-3961, 3962. It's Wednesday, the 28th of August. I'm Alex, Chad Hobbs in the studio.
Hey.
And we are, of course, streaming live on Facebook again. Yesterday, due to some technical difficulties with the internet situation, we were not able to stream live, although we did get the archive of yesterday's show up on the website. If you missed that, we were able to record the show. We just... we're not able to stream it live, so it is up on the website if you want to go check that out. But here we are, and it's another day, and excited to be here. Just all sorts of crazy nonsense that we could get into today.
On Hump Day.
It's Hump Day, yeah.
We're halfway through.
Halfway there, man.
And it's a cool one.
And also, halfway to the weekend, it's also a holiday weekend. Did you realize that?
Is it? Oh, Monday is.
It is, man.
Long weekend.
I know, right? I was.
Oh yeah.
I got excited about it. I looked at the calendar earlier, and I'm like, oh wow, that's this weekend. Because I know I knew Labor Day was coming up, but I didn't realize it was this coming Monday. I felt like we had at least another week or two left.
Yeah.
But no, it's this coming Monday.
Don't call me, don't write me, don't send me a letter on Monday.
Yeah, there you go. Nice.
Go watch the archives.
nice little long weekend. Yeah, go watch the archive. By the way, I think we were talking. You and I were talking just in passing, like off the air a couple days ago or yesterday or something about like for those holidays and stuff when we're not here. You know, normally, like on the air on those days, we've got, just like some music rolling or something like that. But technically, since we're doing all these archives now, we got everything recorded, we could technically do like some clips or, clips from old shows or things like that. The highlights.
Yeah.
All the best Chad Hobbs zinger moments.
Woo. Tampon Tam.
Come on, stop it. Just stop it. Just stop it. I can't take you anywhere.
That has seemed to be the defining moment of the last year. That's
your defining moment.
Mm-hmm. I was looking at Facebook Messenger. I'm coming up on my anniversary.
Are you?
I've almost been. What was it? Yesterday, it was a post I'd put up on mine that the memories come up, and it said a year ago today, and I'd put up to tune in to Edgewise on Monday because there might be something announced.
Yeah.
So that was yesterday. So the weekend, I guess Friday maybe.
Huh. Wow, I didn't even realize it's been a year.
Yeah.
And it only took us this long to get the live stream up.
Yeah. I've almost got the kinks worked out.
We've almost figured
another
this thing
5
out.
years, and I may be adept at doing this job.
Well, congratulations. First of all, that's awesome. Yeah, I remember when you started here, and we had talked a little bit off the air, and I was really excited for it, man, because Edgewise. I love Edgewise, and I love doing Edgewise, and I've come to really enjoy it over the last several years. But there in that period, of course, Randy and I used to do the show together a lot. Randy would do the show solo on certain days of the week, kind of like what you're doing now on Fridays. And I think he did it like on Mondays and Tuesdays there for a while. He would do the solo show, and then he and I would come in and we would do the show together the rest of the week. And I always really enjoyed that, and I know Randy did as well, and we really liked, kind of doing that thing together. I've always found when you've got a back and forth, like a dialogue, it just works so much better because, sometimes I mean, like every once in a while, it's cool to do a solo show, and like you do your thing on Fridays, and so they get a break from me, and so that's cool. But then, like when you're doing it every day, 5 days a week, I'm telling you, you just want to beat your head up against a brick wall, man.
Some Friday, just doing it one day a week. Some days it's like, oh yeah,
yeah.
Like I was excited about it at first because it let me learn the buttons and everything, and figure out the controls over there. So if and when something happened, I'd be able to step into that. But there's it was a few weeks ago I came in and I'm like, hey, do you want to come on with me Friday today? Because I'm just not feeling it.
Randy did that a couple times too. I remember, sometimes it's just you're just not feeling it. And the thing was when like after Randy left and went moved to Vico, and I'm here. Like I'm just doing the show myself every day. And some days it's good. It's like I'll get in my groove and I'll have something I'll be ranting about or ticked off about that day that I can spend the whole hour talking about. And sometimes you get some calls and people will engage in the discussion as well. But man, on those days there were just so many of those days when I would come in and I would be like, I have no idea what I'm going to talk about today. I'm going to talk about the same crap I've been talking about for the last week.
Yeah.
Because it's harder to do, like we've got a mix going on, like we'll talk about, some political stuff. We'll get into some serious stuff. You'll throw some grenades, here and there. We may be talking about the election, but in the next segment, we may be talking about, like our favorite flavor of ice cream or something.
Yeah.
It's harder to do the fun stuff like that and like the more laid back stuff when you just got one person.
Yeah. Especially now that there's video, because it's like I've said since the first day I did it, and that was really bad because it just felt like the whole room closed in because you're sitting in this room by yourself talking and you don't know if there's like 0 people listening or 1,000 people listening or what.
Some days if you're me, you hope 0 people listening.
Yeah.
You actually hope that.
And I'm like, if you took a picture of what I'm doing right now and put me anywhere else in the world outside of a recording studio to radio, people would think I was insane.
Yes, you're talking to
I'm
yourself.
sitting there talking to myself for an hour, just back and forth. But yeah, it's when people call, it really makes it great because it's like, okay, I'm not just sitting here randomly.
Yeah, and that's what I like about the dialogue too. Is a lot of times, when you're co-hosting, you don't necessarily have, because I know there's a lot of people, and people have even told me this before. It's like they like to listen, but they're like, I don't really want to call. That's not my thing. I don't want to really be on the radio, or I've had some people say, well, because of where I work or this, that, the other thing, I'd be afraid to call in and weigh in on some of the hot button issues. So sometimes people just kind of want to listen and they don't want to call. And so when we've got more than one person here and we got a little dialogue going back and forth, that makes it better too because it keeps the conversation going, and you don't have to rely on, just the phone calls, which, it's kind of like, the way I see it in the show right now, it's like if people want to call, that's great. We ask you to call, we invite you to call.
Love to hear from you.
But we can keep the conversation going, and most days you can.
And we won't rat you out to your employer.
Well, that's right. That's right. You can disguise your voice or change your name. Don Rad Coyle or something, maybe?
Yeah, Don Rad Coyle. Yeah.
I think that would be.
I knew his cousin.
His cousin, yeah.
Yeah. I heard of him.
Speaking of which, by the way, if there is anything on your mind today, give us a call. We'd love to hear from you. 270-422-3961 or 3962. Also, you can now, since we're live streaming on Facebook, and I'm just going to pop on here and make sure everything's rolling good because I'm ADHD and I got to focus on 40 billion things at once. But you can drop a comment and just weigh in the comment section. You want to weigh in on what we're talking about, or you just want to drop a comment and say, hey, we'd love to hear from you. If you are watching live streaming right now, just drop a comment and let us know where you're watching from. What part of the world are you watching from? Drop a comment and let us know. I'm trying to pull this up here, make sure. Yeah, we're good.
City had a special meeting last night, Brandenburg.
Yes.
They had, we've talked about it on the show for those that listen. Bill Basham was longtime councilman. Unfortunately, passed away a few weeks ago, and so his seat was open. So they had a special meeting last night to fill his position and for the remainder of the year obviously, all that mayor and council members are all on the ballot in November. And Rhonda Allen was selected.
Okay.
They had 5 voting. Just the council, men and women can vote, so there's only 5 of them since Bill's seat's open. And I think it was 3 votes for Rhonda Allen and 1 vote for Yolanda Clark and 1 vote for Grant Wiles.
Okay.
So Rhonda will be filling that position until they swear in all the new ones in January after the election.
Okay, so we got that filled, and I know there's another meeting that's coming up. Now, Is this next meeting? I was kind of confused. At first, I thought this next special meeting is supposed to be to address that ordinance
Nazi
that,
tax.
that you would.
I mean, employee tax.
Employee
licensing fee.
The ordinance that you and I have talked about quite a bit on this show. I was thinking that was supposed to be it, but then there was, I don't know, the post I saw on Facebook, and I saw a couple of people saying that, like, it seemed a little, and I'm not trying to be critical, I was just like, I didn't understand it, like, it seemed a little cryptic, because it was like, they're going to talk about it, but they're not going to, because it's not on the agenda. I missed it. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I thought it was supposed to be, you're talking about the special one next Tuesday at the Home and Garden Center?
Yes.
Over at Fairgrounds. My understanding was it was going to be the meeting that they had promised the last time this got brought up over there, that it was going to be kind of like a working session. People could come in and ask questions, and they would answer questions and review it, and then
right.
Move forward towards the September regular meeting to either go forward with it or not.
Okay, so maybe that's what it is. I was misunderstanding that post. I don't know if you saw the post about it on the Facebook page, but I was just like misunderstanding. And I saw a couple of people were like a little confused too. That's why I'm not trying to be critical. I'm seriously, genuinely curious as to what that meant. And maybe we can check with some folks off the air and give an update on that. But yeah, it's my understanding that they are supposed to address some of the things that were that the people addressed when they spoke about it at the last. Because
the last one they allowed public comment, but they weren't going to answer any questions on it. They were just going to hear. The explanation was they just wanted to hear everybody's thoughts on it, and then they'd go back and ponder those before they went forward. And at a future meeting, they would allow people to come in and ask questions and of them to answer, like the who, what, when,
okay, so that's
why.
what this is supposed
That's
to.
That's what my understanding
okay.
was.
Well, we'll need to verify the details of that, but yeah, okay. But it is this next meeting is going to be somehow pertaining to that ordinance.
Yes.
And for folks who don't know, we're talking about an ordinance that would put a tax. It's also been called some sort of fee or something. They've got a name for it, but essentially a tax on the payroll of people who work in the city of Brandenburg.
Whether you live in Brandenburg or not.
Right, and it's 1% tax, goes on people's paychecks. That's what the ordinance is that we're discussing. Of course, we've discussed this a lot on the show. I think most people have heard mine and your opinion on this.
Yes.
At this point, but
my glowing non-review of it.
You're glowing.
I was just reading it. I think this is what kind of is probably the hang-up. Is it says the meeting is for public to hear the answers to questions previously asked by the citizens, which that was what it was supposed to be. But then it adds in, and this is probably where it's getting tied up, is by law, there will not be a second reading of the occupational tax ordinance as it is not listed on the agenda. And so basically what they're saying there is, because once they've read it once they read it a second time, by law you have to do 2 public readings of an ordinance before you can vote for it to give the public time. So what that's saying is at this special meeting, they will not be doing the second reading of it and possibly voting to pass it at that meeting because it's not on the agenda for that. It's just going to be an open discussion with the public about where they're at with it.
So they are still discussing it. It's just not on the agenda for another reading and
that second and
potential
final reading.
passing. So they will not be able to
pass or fail it.
Yeah. Okay. That makes more sense now, because I was like confused when I initially read that, and I know some other people I saw were like a little confused on that. So that's good.
I anticipate that probably because that's what. Where are we at? September. Because the following Monday will be their regular scheduled. Not like next Tuesday's the special meeting, the 3rd, but then that following Monday, because they have their regular meeting second Monday of every month.
Okay.
So it looks like, if I'm looking at that right, yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, we got yes, I know we got a phone call. Going to get to that in just a moment. We're going to have to take a break here in just a little bit. Got plenty of stuff that we can get into today. Goodness gracious, I don't even want to get started on it yet. But if there is anything on your mind, please feel free to give us a phone call today at 270-422-3961 or 422-3962. And the people out in the office were kindly reminding me that I do have a phone call, so let's grab that. Good morning. You are on Edgewise.
Good morning, Alex. Good morning, Chad. It's Andy Tucker. How y'all doing?
Good morning.
Great. How are you?
Sorry to keep you hanging so long. I got on a tangent about that meeting, and I forgot all about the button was over there blinking.
Hey, no worries. I might take a little while. Would you like to take a break and come back? Because I've got something that I'm fairly upset about.
Okay. Well, yeah. I tell you what, because we really do need to take a break. If you want to hang on the line there, we can get to it when we get back.
You bet.
Do you want to give us a teaser? Do you want to give the listeners a teaser? What does this pertain to? What are you upset about? You're not upset at us, are you?
I am upset. No, not at y'all. But as a community, the reason why I love this area is because the friendliness of people, because the masculinity of most of the men, and today I was very disappointed.
Oh.
Okay, well, this should be interesting.
My curiosity is piqued.
It has, and so that's a good teaser as we go into a break. We'll get back with more of Andy Tucker's phone call in just a little bit. Stick around there on the phone line, Andy, and we'll get to you as soon as we get back. Right now, we're going to take a commercial break, and we'll be back in just a few. This is Edgewise on WMMG.
At Meade County Bank, they're local not only in their words, but in their actions. And that's how it's been for 40 years. From the Brandenburg office to the Flaherty office, the 4 branches have worked hard to serve and meet you and your unique individual needs. They've treated their customers like family, because you are. And if you're looking to join the Meade County Bank family, they'd love to meet you and talk about what they can offer. Getting started is easy, and they look forward to showing you why their customers proudly say, "That's my kind of bank." Meade County Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
The world's largest Christian music festival, 40 days and 40 nights at the Ark Encounter in Williamstown, Kentucky, July 30th through September 7th, with main event concerts daily at 4 p.m. Enjoy artists like Casting Crowns, Guy Penrod, Kane, Jason Crabb, Crowder, Triumphant, and many others. All concerts are free with admission to the park. 40 days and 40 nights at the Ark Encounter, Williamstown, Kentucky, July 30th through September 7th. For more information, go to 40daysofchristianmusic.com.
When other companies say no, Planters Insurance says yes. Got a vacation home, rental property, or church that needs coverage? Planters Insurance insures all types of properties across Kentucky. Just give Sharon Ledford a call today at 270-547-3921 or 270-547-8467. Planters Insurance, a local insurance co-op since 1904.
Are you looking to rent a piece of equipment to get those do-it-yourself jobs done? Are you needing some fuel or oil to finish that job at the farm or on the job site? Hello, I'm Cash Redmond with Midway Petroleum and Midway Rents. We have all your hometown fuel, oil, and rental needs. We promise customer satisfaction with our prices and service. Come on down to see us at the Caution Light in Midway on Highway 79 or give us a call at 270-422-2992. We hope to see you soon.
Miss an episode of Edgewise? Head over to WMMG935.com and check out the Edgewise Archive. You can listen to any show anytime. The Edgewise Archive is only available at WMMG935.com.
Are you ready?
We now return to Edgewise on 93.5 WMMG. Join in on the discussion today. Give us a call at 270-422-3961 or 270-422-3962.
We are back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Got to remember to fade that bumper music out real quick so we don't get the copyright strikes. But anyway, we're back. If there's anything on your mind, give us a call. We'd love to hear from you. You can also weigh in on the comments on our Facebook live stream. We're up on the WMMG Facebook page as well. Now, just before we went to the break, we had our good friend Andy Tucker on the line, who was getting ready to get into something interesting and possibly controversial. By the way, I will mention that Andy Tucker and AJT Guns and Gunsmithing is the place to go if you want to get some work done. You got a firearm. He does all sorts of good stuff, and you can check him out on the Facebooks, the AJT Guns and Gunsmithing. So, Andy, I will give the floor back to you, and thanks for hanging with us during the break. I will give the floor to you. You gave us a little teaser before the break there.
Well, thank you all very much. I appreciate it. Hey, let me tell you a story, and the purpose of the story is not to brag on myself by any means, but I need to tell you the story in order to get the point why I was disappointed. One of the ladies in my church drove by today a guy that was in a wheelchair driving a minivan with it pulled over to the side with the hood up, and he was trying to figure out how to fix his vehicle or whatever. And because she's a lady and because she's smart, she didn't stop and try to help, but she called me up because it was just around the corner from my house and said, "Hey, can you come help this guy?" And so I went out there and got ready, went out there, and I helped him, and he's back on the road now. But I couldn't tell you how many, I saw a bunch of people drive by, and she did too. This was her testimony. There was a bunch of people that just drove by and didn't do anything, didn't stop, didn't say, "Hey, how you doing?" Nothing like that. And so it goes to a bigger problem that we have as a society. And it's not so much a problem here, but it is trickling down here. They say as California goes, so goes the rest of the nation. And I believe that is a true euphemism to some extent anyhow. But as the big cities go, so goes the country and rural areas also. We have a problem, or we're beginning to have a problem, with masculinity. It used to be that if a woman or a handicapped or an elderly person was broke down, men would fight their way to get over there. And I don't know the story behind everybody. Surely somebody was late for work and just couldn't stop that would have stopped normally. I'm sure some of that was going on. But we're getting to the point now where we're losing the masculinity. We're losing the helping each other out. And feminism has ruined men. And nations rise or fall based on men. Nothing against women. They've got the most important job in the world, bringing children into this world and raising them up. Nothing against women at all. One preacher that I know said, "I like women. My mom and my wife are both women." I agree with that. But we need to get back to letting our men be men and training our men to be men. Dad, get back in the house. Teach your boys how to help somebody. We're in sad shape if we go the way, or when we go the way of the big cities.
Well, that's toxic, Andy.
Yeah. Well, you've opened up about 40 cans of worms right now, and I'm not sure which one to go with first. So I think what you're talking about there, actually, I'll actually push back just a little bit, and I think it's possibly two different issues. I think that's part of it. I think what you're talking about and the lack of masculinity, I think that's part of it, and that's certainly an aspect to it. There's another aspect today of people just don't. People are just like don't know what you can trust and what you can't trust these days. I think that's an aspect of it, and I think what deters people sometimes from stopping is, you see this all the time. You hear about it all the time. People getting murdered, or people getting, whatever, because somebody's set up on the side of the road and they are pretending to be. And so where do you draw that line? I don't know. I don't know the answer to that myself. There's been times when I've seen something on the side of the road, I've stopped. There's been times I've seen something on the side of the road, and I've not stopped. Where do you draw the line? What do you do? There's a lot of people, I think, that they're like, what's going to happen if I, you know what I mean? Because we live in such a crazy world today.
So we do live in a crazy world, but I have a clear line, and it's one that I grew up and was taught, and it's one that I've tried to teach all the boys that have come through my house and our church. If it's a single woman, if it's a elderly person or elderly couple, or if it's somebody that's handicapped, I will stop every chance that I get.
Yeah. And that's the thing is, I think some people are just so caught up in their world that it's like they don't have time to be neighborly anymore. As part,
that's true. That's true.
And it's sad because it's like, because I remember as a kid, it's like what Andy's talking about. You left your house unlocked. You stopped and helped anybody and everybody. You opened doors for women, even if it wasn't a woman that was with you. And, I still do that if I'm going in a store or whatever. Well, if I'm going in a store, I'll open the door for anybody.
Yeah.
But, and it's just so...
But you did lump in the whole leaving your door unlocked thing, too. That is a testament to the fact that, because that's an example of something I certainly won't do today. I'm certainly not going to do that. Yeah. But I think that is a testament to what I was kind of talking about, is we're not living in the same world today, unfortunately, because it's gotten crazier. And so I'm saying, I think Andy is right. I'm not saying that what he's saying is wrong, but I'm also saying I can understand maybe some people who don't, and I think it's mixed. I think some of it is that, and I think a lot of it probably is just, I'm busy, I don't want to be bothered, I don't want to stop and help, I don't care because I'm just kind of in my own world. I think most of it's probably that, but I can also understand somebody who's like, hey, I've got serious reservations, what do I do?
But you see somebody in a wheelchair. I mean, somebody should have. There should have.
Oh, 100%.
And
I'm
like
Andy
Andy
with
said,
a broad brush.
Before he was able to even get down there should have been 5 people that were fighting to stop.
Oh, 100%. I mean, I'm painting with a broad brush here, right? And I'm kind of giving the other side and saying, I can understand, why some people won't stop and help.
So now we have Alex as an active feminist.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. That's exactly what it is. I'm a feminist now, and I think that. Well, but what is that? What is what I had to say? I know you're joking. I know you are joking, and I get that. But what does what I said there have to do with feminism, though? Is that?
I was just giving you a hard time.
No. Well, I know that, but I was curious if you actually had a
I do.
a thought on that.
I do.
Okay.
Because I saw you donate.
Well, I've got
the cause this morning.
Okay, you've got the look in your eye, so I know you're not being serious.
I caught him.
People are just,
I caught him on Google donating.
You people are goofing off, and I'm trying to have a serious conversation here.
Well, I did see that. I wish well, I'm not going to pull it up. I'll paraphrase. A few weeks ago, there were 2 big articles that came out about Tim Walz, the Kamala's vice president guy.
On Tim, yeah.
Yes.
You people, would you people stop it? I can't take you anywhere.
It's here forever. We're getting T-shirts made. But it was talking like the title was Tim Walz is the definition of masculinity, and then the other one was something about. Men need Tim Walz to check under their hood if their masculinity alerts on. And I'm like, well, first of all, you're the party that's been screaming that masculinity's toxic for 10 years now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
all of a sudden, because it's going to gain us something in politics, we're going to...
And you can't define what a woman is, but you're going to stand up here and tell me you're going to give me a definition of masculinity?
Right.
And no offense, Tim, the butter carving enthusiast that likes the spirit finger wave and air kick when he comes out. No, that's a beta male. There ain't nothing alpha about him. That is not masculinity. That's what they want masculinity to be.
Well, see, now you're kind of coming, and I know you're joking some too, but I mean, in all seriousness, this is the kind of stuff that people think that we think masculinity is, because you're talking about, the way he waves, the way he does this. I get it.
Well,
it's funny. It's funny. You're joking. I get it.
He looks like Richard Simmons coming out on stage.
I know. I get that you're joking. I get that you're being funny. But seriously,
it's
like
weird.
Like real masculinity is more than just like the way that you're waving and the way that it's a lot of like what Andy was talking about there. It's a lot of other things.
It's being a protector. It's being a leader.
You can open up Scripture. Scripture will
roll over into your self-confidence in the way you present yourself.
What's that now? Sorry, Andy.
Real masculinity does roll over in your self-confidence and the way you present yourself. A real man is less and less feminine or effeminate in the way that they present themselves.
Okay, I mean, fair enough. Fair enough. I'm saying what's more important is what the Bible talks about. The values, the characteristics of a leader. The leader of the household, the leader of, a family, someone who's going to take charge, someone who's going to take responsibility, not just a dictator, but someone who's going to take responsibility, who's going to lay their life down. The Bible talks about laying your life, the husband should lay his life down for his wife as Christ laid his life down for the church, being sacrificial, being humble, but not being afraid to stand up and fight for your family, not being afraid to stand up and do what needs to be done and to take charge. That is what masculinity is all about. That's what true masculinity and truly being a man is supposed to be about.
I agree. Joab told Abishai, quit you like men. And we have lost that in a huge part, in the major part of our society. It still is somewhat alive in the rural areas, and I guess my challenge more than anything else is let's keep it alive. Let's not let it die with our generation.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Make masculinity great again.
Yeah.
That's the shirt we need to get made.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm gonna get one of them.
That's good.
I'll wear it.
Yeah. We might be able to
I
sell
won't buy it, though.
Yeah. All right, we appreciate your phone call, Andy.
Thank you all very much. Have a good day.
Yeah, you too.
And don't forget, folks who need gunsmithing work done, go to AJT Guns and Gunsmithing. Check him out on Facebook. He's a good dude, Andy Tucker. I like Andy. Anything on your mind you want to weigh in on, talk about, discuss, give us a call, 422-3961 or 422-3962. You can also weigh in on the comment section over on our Facebook live stream if you want to weigh in on what we're talking about today. You got any thoughts, you can drop a comment over there. Here we were just rolling real casual, and then Andy Tucker just has to. Andy Tucker throws the grenade today.
Yeah.
Andy Tucker throws.
Opened up several cans of worms.
By the way, we got a few people commenting on the Facebook live stream this morning, and somebody said, Mandy said they love your cup, Chad Hobbs.
My cup.
They like your if you want to hold that up to the camera there so folks can see the "Don't Tread on Me" coffee. We were actually talking about that the other day. That's your big
that's that thing.
How much coffee does that hold?
A pot.
A pot of coffee?
Yeah, this is my cup a day.
That's your one cup.
One cup a day.
just one cup.
Just one.
You're cutting back.
They never said nothing about the size of it. They just said hey, cut it down to 1 cup a day. So
yeah,
I just got a bigger cup.
Yeah, there you go. We are going to have to take another commercial break, but if there's anything on your mind, give us a call. We would love to hear from you. We'll get to who knows what else when we get back. This is Edgewise on WMMG.
Miss an episode of Edgewise? Head over to WMMG935.com and check out the Edgewise Archive. You can listen to any show anytime. The Edgewise Archive is only available at WMMG935.com.
Are you looking for a little slice of heaven to plant your flag and call home? Or maybe you have some property you're looking to sell? Well, go check out my friends at Kentucky Land Company of Irvington. Whether you're looking for a small lot close to town or a small farm out in the country, they have property in 12 counties to meet your needs. They also offer easy, no-credit check owner financing. Kentucky Land Company of Irvington is here 7 days a week to meet your property needs. Go check them out today at ky-land.com or give them a call at 547-4222.
Tired of getting turned down for homeowners insurance because you're too far from the fire department? Give Sharon Ledford at Planters Insurance a call. Planters Insurance is a local insurance co-op formed in 1904, and they won't turn you down like those other companies. Call Sharon Ledford today at 270-547-3921 or 270-547-8467.
I'm Trooper Josh Satterley with Kentucky State Police.
And I'm Trooper Kendon Young of the Kentucky State Police. When working traffic across Kentucky, responding to crashes involving deaths or injuries is the toughest part of our job.
When you drive, there is so much out of your control.
But what you do have control over is wearing a seatbelt.
Less than 2 seconds. That's all the time it takes to buckle up.
Why do we enforce seatbelt laws? It's not about writing tickets. It's about saving lives.
Always buckle up.
A message from Team Kentucky and the Kentucky Office of Highway Safety.
Welcome to Flaherty Chevrolet, where excellence is the standard and customer satisfaction is the top priority. Step into the showroom at Flaherty Chevrolet and discover a world of possibilities. Whether you're in the market for a reliable family car or a powerful workhorse, they've got you covered with their extensive selection of Chevrolet vehicles at Flaherty Chevrolet in Brandenburg. Flaherty Chevrolet, your hometown Chevy dealer.
Meade County RECC is committed to our local community. We are built by, belong to, and led by the people in the communities we serve. We are proud to provide safe, affordable, and reliable electric service 24/7, 365 days a year. Visit us at our Brandenburg or Hardinsburg offices or at mcrecc.com. Meade County RECC, powering you when it matters most.
Guess who's back? We now return to Edgewise on 93.5 WMMG. Join in on the discussion today. Give us a call at 270-422-3961 or 270-422-3962.
Welcome back. It's Edgewise on WMMG. Streaming live on Facebook. We'll have the archive up later on the website too, WMMG935.com. Go over and check that out. Just the website in general. Got news articles, information, cool stuff over there, and a contest that you can sign up for a Mark's Feed Store gift certificate this week. All sorts of cool stuff.
Yeah.
By the way,
we had $50 Little Dave's card we gave away last Friday for the first Foodie Friday.
Yeah. Congratulations
How much is this one?
To our winner. I don't know. I'll have to take a rain check on that one. But we got a gift certificate to Mark's Feed Store. And so you get you some good
eating,
good barbecue.
You know they've got something that they've got smoked turkey there, and it's really good.
Do they? I heard our friends down at Stoll's too were getting ready to maybe start smoking turkey legs.
This is like sliced turkey. It's really good.
Okay.
Over at Mark's, and then they've got those. What are they? Honey wings. Those are really good.
Yeah, I'd be curious to try that out. I think that sounds good. I want to get a smoker. I was telling my wife about this the other day. I'd like to get a smoker. It's just something I've not gotten on that trend yet. It's become such a popular thing, and people who've got them are like smoking everything, like smoked this, smoked that.
I don't get to use it enough, but I love mine.
Yeah, it does seem like a little bit of a hassle. That's another reason. Like I've got one of those Blackstone grills, griddle, whatever, and I love it. It's just such a pain to clean the thing, and it gets rusted easily. And
well, mine's old school. It's you got to do the whole coals and put your wood in, your whatever flavor wood and all that, and monitor it close and work the vents. But like my father-in-law's got a electric one, programmable, and like it just you set it and forget it. Kind of you got to check on your stuff and do whatever you're going to do, based and all that stuff the same. But so much easier.
Yeah. Speaking of forgetting stuff, I don't want to forget our phone call over here.
Oh.
Looks like we got another one. Let's grab that. Good morning. You are on Edgewise.
Hi. Hey, just calling, I think that was, Andy you said that called earlier?
Uh-huh.
Okay. So the whole thing about what he was talking about, with helping your neighbor and stuff like that, it's not more of just it recently happened within the last 10 years. It's more of a, best way to describe it is, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time, right?
Sure, yeah.
It goes back, and I'm not trying to play one side against the other either, but you go back, 50 years? Almost a generation and a half. You look at our grandfathers and great-grandparents, the great generation, the silent generation, hard times create strong men type deal. But then you got the rise of other ideological philosophies, if you want to go that way. And society said, well, let's do it this way, and you remove the father figure out of households for whatever reason, be it economic, because of assistance programs that are available. Okay. Or you got just different people getting in other people's business that you don't want them to be, what's the word here? You don't want, they scare you.
Yeah. Well, I think you bring up a lot of good points, and I've said before on the show too. I think you mentioned the lack of a father figure. I think that is the cause, the lack of a father figure in the home, in our country. Let's just focus on the societal problems that we've got in our country. I think the lack of a father figure in the home attributes to, or even the fathers not being the fathers that they should be, attributes to a huge number of our societal problems that we got. Now, am I saying that there aren't single mothers out there who are killing it, who are doing a fantastic good? God bless them. God bless those single mothers who have been forced into this, and they have to play both roles, so to speak. They have to do both, and they have to, and they're killing it, some of them. But they shouldn't have to, is the point. They shouldn't have to if we had real, men, you talk about that masculinity or whatever, who were standing up, taking responsibility, and being the head of the household, being the father, being the husband, being what they're supposed to be.
Yep, I agree. And the thing is, too, you got that other side of the fence, so, why does somebody else's fear constitute my role? If my kids get out of pocket, I'm going to discipline them. I'm not going to abuse them. I'm not going to, go outside of pocket in the terms of disciplining, but they get a smart mouth. The consequences are justified by their actions.
Yeah, 100%. And we could spend all day talking about a number of issues. This opens up a huge number of issues. But I think I blame. I've said before, I blame. There's two people in this world that I blame for a lot of our societal problem: fathers and pastors. Fathers and pastors, those who are supposed to be the head of the household, those who are supposed to be the man of the household, and those who are supposed to be leading their household, and then those who are supposed to be leading the church. You have pastors that won't preach the truth of the Word of God. You've got people who won't tell it like it is, and shepherd their flock and lead their flock, and you've got fathers who abandon their families or don't want to step up and be what God has designed for them to be in that family unit, And so I think fathers and pastors are to blame. You talk about, people think masculinity. This is why people say, toxic masculinity, because, men just want to lead and rule and everything. No, part of that is like taking responsibility. With great power comes great responsibility, like Spider-Man, the Uncle Ben said to Spider-Man. Like, no, a lot of that is like taking responsibility and saying, hey, this is something I'm responsible for, is this family. This is something I'm responsible for, is my wife and my children, and so on and so forth.
Yep. It's like taking that proverbial punch to the mouth and getting back up and getting back into the fight. You get knocked down, you get right back up.
Yeah.
The best way that my dad put it before he died, he got knocked down plenty of times by life, but he never gave up. He whatever came, he stood right up there. And the same thing with both my grandparents, or my grandfathers. One fought over in Japan, one was in during Korea, and they talked about it. They get knocked down, they got right back up, no matter what.
Yeah.
And being part of it is recognizing, okay, I'm down, but let me take a knee, take a couple deep breaths, figure out what's going on, and then let me just keep moving. But society doesn't want that.
Yeah. Well, we certainly appreciate your phone call, my friend. We are going to have to run and grab another commercial break before we miss it. But by the way, I'm just curious. Are you from up north somewhere? Because I'm just curious by the accent.
I'm a transplant. Yeah, I've been only down here about 10 years.
Okay.
In the community.
Okay, I was just curious. I noticed the I noticed the northern accent. I've been up to Michigan a lot and up north, so I just noticed the northern accent. I was just curious.
Yeah, I'm from about that area.
Okay,
Yep.
All right, good deal.
Well,
all
thanks for calling us.
Appreciate the phone call, my friend. We're gonna have to grab another commercial break. It's already time.
Time flies when you're having fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like we just took one. And I look down and I'm like, oh, yeah.
I know, right?
Great call.
Anything on your mind, give us a call. We'll get to you when we get back. We're going to take a break. Back in a few. It's Edgewise on WMMG.
Miss an episode of Edgewise? Head over to WMMG935.com and check out the Edgewise Archive. You can listen to any show anytime. The Edgewise Archive is only available at WMMG935.com.
Are you looking for a little slice of heaven to plant your flag and call home? Or maybe you have some property you're looking to sell? Well, go check out my friends at Kentucky Land Company of Irvington. Whether you're looking for a small lot close to town or a small farm out in the country, they have property in 12 counties to meet your needs. They also offer easy, no-credit check owner financing. Kentucky Land Company of Irvington is here 7 days a week to meet your property needs. Go check them out today at ky-land.com or give them a call at 547-4222.
For everything you need to keep your home and property in great shape, stop by Wright Implement this week. We have chainsaws, blowers, and line trimmers from Steel, long-lasting quality mowers, gators, small tractors, and generators from John Deere, Honda mowers and generators, and so much more for your home and property. Check out the latest John Deere clothing and toys for the kids. Online at wrightimp.com. With 15 locations throughout Kentucky and southern Indiana, we are the home place. Wright Implement.
Meade County RECC is committed to our local community. We are built by, belong to, and led by the people in the communities we serve. We are proud to provide safe, affordable, and reliable electric service 24/7, 365 days a year. Visit us at our Brandenburg or Hardinsburg offices or at mcrecc.com. Meade County RECC, powering you when it matters most.
The Department for Aging and Independent Living within the Kentucky Cabinet for Health and Family Services wants to promote the Aging Disability Resource Center, a statewide toll-free phone line that provides older adults, individuals with physical disabilities, caregivers, and professionals with information to promote independent living. Call to learn about home-delivered meals, in-home services, respite care, caregiver support, and Medicaid waiver programs to help those age 60 and over. Call 877-925-0037. Kentucky, forward together. Paid for by the Department for Aging and Independent Living, the KBA, and the station.
So many things in life are unpredictable, but your insurance rates shouldn't be. If you're tired of your insurance rates going up and down like a yo-yo, give Planners Insurance a call. Planners is a local insurance co-op formed in 1904. They haven't had a rate increase in years, and they have no plans to increase rates anytime soon. Call Sharon Ledford today at 270-547-3921 or 270-547-8467.
Guess who's back?
We now return to Edgewise on 93.5 WMMG. Join in on the discussion today. Give us a call at 270-422-3961 or 270-422-3962.
I'm starting to get the hang of this whole, running the board and also the live stream and doing the video and switching back and forth. Starting to kind of get the mechanics down a
Falling
little bit.
in place.
Starting to, yeah. It's still a little bit of a train wreck, but not as big of a train wreck as it was.
And we're not even a week in yet.
Sure, yeah.
When did we start? Thursday? Last week?
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
Which,
I thought that that the last caller made some really great points. Everybody has, but
yeah.
When he was talking about like his father and stuff, and and you alluded to it during the conversation too, and it was like me growing up, like having that figure. There's something about a dad's voice that hits a little different.
Yeah.
With young boys, I can't speak for young girls, but for young boys in a house full of boys, it just hits a little different than mom does. There's a different tone, there's a different fear level, and it's not because there was any reason I should fear my dad. Like, we got our butts busted, but it was always
there's
for
different
good reason. It wasn't excessive, and
there's two different types of fear too, though. I mean, I think we should, in a sense, it's kind of like the Bible talks about fearing God. It says the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. That fear it's talking about, it's not like, oh, I'm cowering in fear because I'm afraid. No, God loves us, and we should, but it's that word, it really means like a respect, a reverence. We should have a respect and a reverence, and I should fear the repercussions that are going to come if we don't, if we are rebellious or disobedient against Him. I think it's the same thing as that a father should have.
Well, and because that's part of it too. Like, one, you don't want to get your butt lit up, but two, it's it hits you. I let him down. This is my hero, and I let him down.
Right.
He's disappointed with me, and sometimes that hurts words. I know with like my son, and I think a lot of it is being consistent. Like, kids really do thrive, and want discipline and consistency. Obviously they don't want to get their butt busted. Nobody wants that, but they want consistency, and they thrive in consistency. They may gripe about it, but once they know that's where the rules are, and it was like with my son, like, it got to a point, him just me getting upset with him, you could tell broke his heart worse than anything my hand could do. And that consistency made it where it really didn't even have to be an issue that much, which, granted, he's the only child, so he doesn't have two co-conspirators like I did in a house full of three boys. Even when you were behaving, one of the others decided to make it their day, so you all got involved one way.
and by the way, if you don't think a father's influence matters, look at the statistics. There are statistics that I've seen on this, and I forget what the exact numbers are. Just with like going to church, for example, which I always look at the spiritual side of things, and the church side, I think that's important. Obviously, to me, it's the most important thing. But look at the numbers, look at the statistics, and I can't rattle off the specific numbers myself, but I've seen these studies, I've conducted them over the years a lot. The percentage of households that go to church when the father is going. Well, like when the father is the one that's getting up and saying, like, we're going to go to church, the family's going to church today. It's just astronomically high. When it's a ridiculously high percentage of the whole family's going to go to church then. But when the father's not going to church, and it's maybe the mother or it's whatever, those numbers just go way, way, way down as far as the rest of the household. A father's leadership matters, and statistics, numbers show that.
Look at crime rates.
Yeah, no, exactly. That's another one.
A
too.
lot of them. I mean, those are just the numbers. It's whether you like it or not. That's the numbers. And you alluded to this earlier, and I think it's important to say this is not saying that we're some kind of like I'm special because I'm a father over anybody else. Like,
no, mothers
mothers are just as important, if not more important. You know, I wouldn't be here regardless of what my father wanted or didn't want if it wasn't for my mother bringing me into this world. And, you know, it's a different kind of love, and it's crucial too. And so, you know, I'm talking about what I know, and that's masculinity and fatherhood, and that's why we're on the subject today. But it's in no way, shape, or form to put down any
mothers
on the female side.
Mothers and just women in general have a very, very important role too. And then you get to talking about roles, and people are like, "Oh, well, now you're telling people what their roles are supposed to be, and this is toxic and whatever." But no, like we were designed, we were created differently. And well, look, we could get into a whole other hour on this, but we don't have time. We're going to have to wrap it up here in just a couple of minutes. Unfortunately, we're already almost out of time. Before we do that, though, let's grab one more phone call here because they were patiently waiting. Good morning. You are last up on Edgewise.
Good morning, guys. To what Chad was saying, consistency and structure. Those are two things that from the beginning of life, it seems like kids need and have to have and want, because like even seeing family that I have teach in schools, it's like structure. That's kind of what they, from the beginning, that's what they're pushing to keep, you know, because some kids have ADHD or things like that, so that helps them figure out what they're going to do next and keeps them reined in, for a lack of a better term. So I was just wanting to say that. And I also wanted to say some of us fathers are out there doing the best we can playing both roles as well. Because I heard, I think Alex said that earlier about moms, you know, playing both roles. But some of us dads are out there doing the same thing. Or we might not be doing it as well, but we're still doing it. And go Cards. That's all I had to say.
Appreciate the phone call, my friend.
Absolutely on your second to last point, but that last point was straight to the trash bin.
Right.
The Go Cards is out, but yeah, definitely, because there's fathers out there rocking it by themselves,
and that's what I was getting into a little bit too, right before we went to the phone call. Like, there's an important role, you know. Again, talk about roles, and people like take that offensively, but there's a role for the mother and for the woman and the wife, and even like my wife and I, we just got married back in December, and you know, so we're fairly newly wed couple, and we don't have children yet. We hope the good Lord's going to bless us with that one day. You know, we hope to do that. But just the dynamic of just a husband and wife too, you know, and there's so much we've learned about the different roles and the different, you know, personality traits. And typically, you know, the male of the household is going to have a certain, you know, type of personality or a certain type of, you know, way of doing things, and the woman's going to have another way. And it's supposed to be, it's not that one is more important than the other. It's supposed to be, it's designed to be, this is the way God created it, to be complementary.
Yeah.
Like it's complementary to one another. Like we're complementary to one another, you know? Like the areas where I fall short, my wife picks up. I'm a little rough around the edges. I'm a little bit more crude and you know, a little more like straight to the point with things, you know? Whereas my wife can be more gentle and more patient and more you know, like, you know, and so in dealing with people and dealing with children one day and dealing with anything you have to deal with in a day-to-day life, there's a balance there. And when you're missing one side of that, whichever side it is, I think in a household structure, the kids are really missing something there.
Well, and then it's rough on the parent, because now you're having to do 100%.
Yeah.
You know, on top of not having that complementary, you know, you're strong where I'm weak, I'm strong where you're weak, or, you know, when we all come together and make a perfect picture, you're having to do everything.
Yeah.
Be the breadwinner, be the mom, be the dad, be the only form of transportation. You know, it's rough, and hats off to anybody going through that. And, you know, but I can just tell, like, coaching baseball, I've been doing this since I was 19, and especially in the younger ones, your 8U, your 10U, your 12U that I've worked through, you get these kids every year, and like the first practice, I'll be like, oh, this new kid I picked is going to challenge me to the end of the world or back. You know, this is going to be rough, but they thrive when they get that. You know, it's not like I'm some kind of drill sergeant, but they thrive when they get that consistency and that structure, and they, you know, they end up being one of my favorite players, and they come up to me 5 years, hey coach, you know, well, they want that. So yeah.
Well, unfortunately, we're out of time, man. We just thanks to Andy Tucker for throwing the grenade today, but it was a good show. I think really good discussion. Didn't even get to half of the stuff I had in mind. I wanted to talk about J.D. Vance buying donuts today. I still haven't had the chance to talk about that yet. I want to buy. Have you seen the video of J.D. Vance in the donut shop?
No.
I hope tomorrow we can get into this because I got to, you got to pick on both sides, right? No. I mean, it's just it's great. If you haven't seen it yet, look up the clip and we'll talk about it maybe tomorrow. J.D. Vance in the donut shop. It's the cringiest thing you're ever going to see in your life. I'll leave you with that. We will, Lord willing, we'll be back here tomorrow. Don't forget, guys, we got the archive. We'll have this show up later on the website, WMMG935.com. You guys have a great, wonderful, fantastic rest of your day. See you later. Love you. God bless you.
Meet Sarah. From First Time Nano Moments.
Yeah, welcome to Flight 101.